COVID-19 has changed our world in ways that nobody could have predicted. But often in a situation like this, there is a silver lining. Now, a lot of us are choosing to change the way that we recreate and spend our time, doing it closer to home and with people inside our bubble. And power sports has become one of the ways that we're choosing to do that. Recently, we caught up with Brian Hudgen at Yamaha to talk about the ways COVID-19 has changed our power sports world.
Well, short term has been a huge demand spike. So we had a lot of, it was pretty steady before it happened, and as it happened, the first month or two there was dealerships closing, there was a lot of uncertainty in the air. But as May hit and the ice started to melt and customers started going, well, if I'm going to be at home for a while here, I want to spend some money on some power sports products, we saw a huge demand spike. So the biggest change for us has been trying to meet this demand with relatively lower supply now because of some of the factory shutdowns that we've had, some of the supply chain issues. So on the one hand, retail's been very hot, and on the other hand, wholesale's been a little bit harder to fulfill. So that's our biggest challenge, and our biggest change, I guess, in the market is that we're getting so many new customers into the sport, which is fantastic because for many years we've been looking at mature markets thinking, how do we get more new riders into the sport? And this has been a great boon, I think, for the power sports industry. There was a big uptick in sales across basically the whole Yamaha line, and it did happen at different points, but there was a significant uptick in sales. So it really started off with knobby tire product groups. So we had ATVs, side-by-sides, and dirt bikes with a really high degree of demand right off the start because the snow melts and everybody wants to get out and ride. But the next thing we started to notice was the marine product groups. So once the ice thawed and people got up to those cottages or those cabins or those second properties that they go to, the hunt camps, things like that, we saw a big demand in the marine products start to get going. So as the summer went on, generator sales and OPE sales started to pick up as well. So as the summer went on, different product groups really caught fire, and it's been a very interesting time, to say the least, for a manufacturer, given some of these challenges that we're facing, but we're confident we can start to meet some more of that demand moving forward. We're seeing a lot of these trends persist, and there's a lot of enthusiasm around snowmobiles. So a lot of our early deposit snowmobiles have now being delivered, and there's a really good success rate on those in terms of people not walking away from deposits, which we were originally concerned with back in the spring. If you'll recall, the pandemic sort of first happened right during our spring power surge season, and we were getting a little bit cautious in the sense of how many of these deposits will be around in the fall given the uncertainty of the time, but that doesn't seem to have happened at all. It seems like everybody's been coming in on their spring deposits, and it looks very positive for the snowmobile industry. We need to be cautious about just how excited we get about a pandemic. I mean, it's not something that is ever wanted or required. But certainly it's shown us a silver lining that there is a need for this sport, and people are gravitating towards it in a time when they're looking around saying, what can I do with my recreation dollars? So we're seeing an uptick, and we really want to make sure that we capitalize on it. And I think anytime there's new riders coming into a sport, that bodes well because, as I've mentioned before, not many people decide to get out of it or don't like it once they've experienced it. There's just there's a lot of barriers to entry to motorsports in some cases. Maybe you need a truck, maybe you need a place to ride it, maybe you need a license or something. So when those barriers are free and clear and people actually get to try the sport, more often than not, they really enjoy it and they want to keep doing it. So we see that this is going to be more than just a bit of a blip. We're going to turn this into a trend, and we're really excited to get new customers. I mean, that's the number one thing that we're really excited about, is getting new customers into the sport and making sure that they refer friends who maybe never tried it before and they go out riding together. So we think there's some growth opportunity here, and we're really excited to keep moving forward.